Hi, this is Isabella Breda, the editor-in-chief of the Echo, Cal Lutheran student newspaper. President Lori Varlotta announced earlier this month that Cal Lutheran is joining the 18th American Council on Education's Internationalization Laboratory Cohort. Our contributing writer, Sam Hostetter, got the chance to catch up with the director of the Center for Global Engagement, Dr. Christina Sanchez, director of the Global Studies Program, Dr. Greg Freeland, and provost and vice president for academic affairs, Dr. Leanne Nielsen, about how this engagement will benefit the university. Welcome, Sam.
My name is Sam Hostetter. I'm a contributing writer for the Echo, and I am a junior at California Lutheran University.
Well, welcome back to the show. I know we had you on in the fall regarding President Varlotta.
Yes.
But I wanted to ask, so you wrote an article about Cal Lutheran joining this American Council on Education's Internationalization Laboratory. That sounds complex on its face. So can you tell us a little bit about what that means for CalLu?
So what this means for Cal Lutheran, well, for starters, we are 1 in 10 that are joining the 18th cohort for the ACE Internationalization Laboratory, which means we are in a group with 10 other universities who get to work closely with this organization. And what that means is they help us establish leadership on campus, analyze different internationalization activities for the university, as well as to form plans and goals for the university as far as internationalization and globalization of our academia and our programs on campus, and overall just help us push more for diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is noted to be something of importance to the university at this time.
So how are we selected in this cohort, or who else is within this cohort?
So we had to apply. Dr. Sanchez from the Center for Global Engagement actually applied for the university a couple months ago. It's an application process that we go through, and then we are kind of selected just based off of different things. The ACE Internationalization Laboratory, actually noted that they try and select a pretty diverse group of schools every single time. So they're looking for big schools, they're looking for small schools, they're looking for kind of this muddle of different types of schools. So right now, according to Dr. Freeland, with my interview I did with him, he said that right now they are working with 10 schools. And some of the other schools that are included are University of Kansas, Pratt Institute, and there's a school in Ethiopia as well. So there are actually a couple schools that are international, and then some of them are here from the United States. And what this does is it helps with internationalization efforts on a greater scale, because the ACE is able to learn along with their process of being on campus and talking with representatives and making plans in place and kind of making a difference, all while themselves learning to try and increase these globalization efforts. So Dr. Sanchez applied, she got the response that they had gotten it, and we have basically become full force into integrating this system into the university from now on. And this is a plan for down the road for Cal Lutheran, 5 to 10 years, according to Dr. Sanchez, to stabilize and help the university grow as a global network for its students and its faculty, and overall just help internationalize the academia here at the university.
And so participating in this cohort, that includes accessing these expert opinions who are going to come and provide assistance for us to become more globally aware, but also can you speak a little bit about the representatives from our campus and what their role is?
Yeah, so we have a committee for the ACE Internationalization Laboratory. And what this committee consists of is individuals from our university like Dr. Nielsen, Dr. Sanchez, Dr. Freeland, and those are some of the people that I was able to interview for this piece. And what their job is to do is to take ideas and basically serve as this kind of faculty group who are going to push the university forward as far as their globalization efforts, what they want to change within some of the course structure, what they want to see as far as the events being held on campus, different ways to help integrate study abroad and that program, and also help with the outreach to the international students. Dr. Sanchez talked about her goal personally with the ACE right now is to help get Cal Lutheran having more international students admitted to the university and attending the university, because they have seen a drop in the enrollment of international students. And they find that discouraging, because they want to make sure that we are continuing our efforts in globalizing the university, And with that being said, there are different goals from every single person in this faculty group of people that are engaging with the ACE, and they all have different goals as far as what they want to see the university do. And like I said previously, Dr. Sanchez wants to have this span over the next 5 to 10 years. Dr. Freeland also noted that it's important for the university to integrate these practices now, so that they can move forward, and it'll be so integrated into the system that people won't really even notice these changes being made. It'll just be tradition, and it'll just be the customs of California Lutheran University to follow these different practices that are going to be integrated.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's great. So I think you noted that Dr. Freeland, he is the director of the Global Studies program. Leanne Nielsen is the provost. So again, we're getting that academic perspective as well as global studies in academia. And then Christina Sanchez is the director of the Center for Global Engagement. So all these roles kind of naturally fall into place in forming this committee. And so I was kind of wondering, that you said that they all brought different things to the table on what it's going to look like in terms of implementation. But why is now a critical time to really begin driving these goals?
So during my interview with Dr. Sanchez, as well as Dr. Freeland, it was quite obvious that within the past 12 months, not just for the university, but for the United States as a whole, this is crucial as far as talking about inclusivity and equality and diversity and all of these, the big threes as far as what universities need to push for. But it was also this focus of the past 4 years. There's been a really large, you could say, strain or hardships on the US as a global figure on the world stage. And they believe that this is the best time as now as ever to kind of fix or alter those things and just kind of push forward into better understanding, better conversations, better education, and overall better global citizens coming out of California Lutheran University. That was a really big thing that Dr. Freeland and I talked about. He said that he would like to see more students studying abroad, more students looking at different countries besides the European countries that are offered for the study abroad, and for students to become more interested in different cultures and different practices so that they leave the world as better global citizens wherever their lives and careers may take them. So with that being said, it was also a really great time because recently the Center for Global Engagement has kind of all put together the study abroad office, the admissions office for international students, the enrollment office for international students, as well as international services for different students of all kinds to kind of come to. And this combination, as noted by Dean Nielsen, was at a really good time 2 years ago, and it's kind of still fresh within the university's memory. So now it's time to kind of take a step forward in implementing everything in all aspects of the campus, not just with the Center for Global Engagement.
Yeah. I think it was important to note that it was only in 2018 when those offices sort of got consolidated. And so there's been this huge shift to ensure that all of our efforts to become more globally aware as a campus were sort of integrated there. But yeah, I think this is a critical step forward. And I'm wondering if you could just finish this off by noting a little bit about why this is important in our university's diversity, equity, and inclusion goals.
I think that as a reporter for the Echo and as a student here myself, and talking with my 3 interviewees during this process of writing this piece, it really stood out to me that all of the values of the ACE Internationalization Laboratory all really coincide with the Cal Lutheran mission statement and with the mission of the university, the mission statement for the faculty, the mission statement for the students. So I think that this holds the values to be true for California Lutheran University. I think with past events that have happened and occurred in the past year, especially with the pandemic and everything changing and different things that have gone on at the university, the faculty that I talked to made it obvious that this is in their best interest to look at the students' best interest and to ensure that they are providing globalized academia and globalized events and information. Dr. Sanchez and I talked a little bit about the why behind why this is so important right now. And she said that she wants to see our students digging deeper, not just knowing things on the surface about why something is culturally appropriated or why something belongs to a certain culture or why something is important to someone, but actually understanding the deeper meaning behind it, not just kind of a simple 1 to 2 sentence answer, but kind of understanding the history and the background and all of the information. And I think with that being said, it is of great importance to the students and to the faculty and to everyone at California Lutheran University to kind of back up this mission statement that we have put forth of the university and to continue growing as global leaders.
Wow. Well, yeah. So this is a huge step forward, and thank you for your reporting and coming on the show.
Of course.
Here's what else you need to know this week. Cal Lutheran has seen about a 20% decrease in undergraduate applications since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. But undergraduate admissions staff say they are hard at work to make sure the university stands out for future students. Our reporter, Madison Morin, has the story. In-person classes resumed in outdoor classrooms this week. For updates on protocol and campus operations, be sure to follow us at CLU Echo News on Twitter. All of the news that's discussed in this podcast can be found at cluecho.com. Thanks for listening.